Hello, this is Lynn Silver, and it is late as hell, but I promised that I would give you a video, so here we go. Also, this is gonna not be a normal thing. I'm not gonna be uploading twice a week, sorry, but that's not gonna be happening because this was already pre-completed, so yeah, and I honestly didn't have actually much time to even do my what ifs, and it was only I started school on Wednesday, and even though it was short days, I didn't have much time, but I will try, and let's get on to this. I wake up and put on my uniform and Shinso's uniform for a quick wash and then iron it. Then Shinso comes out and says, "Good morning." I say, "Good morning." He then says, "Are you ironing my uniform?" I say, "Yeah, I even washed it, so don't sweat it." He then says, "Thanks, wow. I'm jealous of the person marrying you. You're like the perfect housewife." I pause for a second, and then hear the little voice of Schlatt saying, "You have a thing for that guy, huh?" I quickly shake off the thought, and he says, "You okay?" And I say, "Oh, just spaced out, don't worry about it." I then finish ironing his uniform and give it to him, and I change into my uniform and make some breakfast. After eating, we walk to the school entrance and walk in. It was a normal, uneventful day. I went home before I went home, I said to Shinso, "I won't be home, so you can't stay, sorry." He then says, "Oh, okay, have a good one." I say bye and go home. I then pick up my uniform and put on my bartender uniform and leave my apartment. I walked to the bar through the back door, and I'm in the back seeing some of my coworkers just getting there, leaving, and the manager. And then clock in and go to the bar and do the drinks. Two women then comes in, sits down, and were in expensive-looking clothing, and they were both blonde, which kind of rare since it's in Japan or unnatural, and probably American since they look like it. But I didn't say anything, just glanced and did the order and the other customers. I then get to them, and the one who looks older and maybe the other's mother says, "Aren't you supposed to be in school? Are you old enough to even work here?" I say, "Okay, ma'am, no need to speak like that. Well, what can I get you to eat or drink?" The mother then says, "I would like insert beverage because I do not have the time for that, and a small steak, and my daughter would like a salad." And the daughter then taps her mother and says she wants a steak like her, but the mother yells at her and says she needs to slim down, and the daughter looks embarrassed that she said it out loud, and tried to continue, but I interrupt her and say, "Miss, what would you like to eat?" She smiles and says, "Could I have a steak and a lemonade?" I smile at her and says, "Okay, your order will be right up. Until then." I then got to the back and put in her order and make the alcoholic drink and set up on the table, and then go to another customer. The mother then grabs her small shot she got from another co-worker and throws it at me. I then say, "There's no need to throw anything at anyone. Now, please step out." She then yells how she knows the owner and she'll have me fired. Yeah, it's a Karen. I just had to throw in something. I kind of just stood there since she was yelling crazy talk. I then see the owner sitting at the table with some friends. I was one of his favorites and treated me like a son. and he came over and said, "I'm sorry, miss, but do I know you?" She then says, "Yeah, I don't know you. I know the owner." I then chuckle, and then the owner says, "I am the owner. Now, please get out." The owner was a pretty tall man and large build, about 7'1", or maybe a bit more, and then look up and say, "What can I get you, sir?" He smiles and sits down. "Can I get I don't know. Guys, seriously, I don't know alcoholic drinks that well. Whiskey, vodka, tequila, Corona." Ooh, that's a bad name. Hopefully nothing happens to this video. Okay, let's continue. I smile and then make him his drink. For the rest of the night was full of laughs and drunk partying. After hour, when my shift was coming around, I took off my uniform and walked home. I see Friend and J-Cat on the couch, and I pet them, picking them up to my room. I looked around, seeing how it was clean, and some of Shinso's clothes. I put Friend and J-Cat on the bed, then pick up Shinso's clothes and put them in a basket. I take off my shoes and get in the bed with Friend and J-Cat by my side and go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and make myself some light breakfast, and then I hear my phone in an incoming call. I answer it and say, "Hello, this is Deku Midoriya. What can I do for you?" I then hear, "This is Shinso. Sorry, is it too early? Should I have called later?" I then perk up and say, No, it's fine. What do you need? I was making myself some breakfast." What can I do for you?" He then sighs and says, Well, I wanted to check up on you since you were out or something, so what did you do?" I feel a smile form on my face and say, "I have a job, so yeah, it pays my bills and rent. So yeah, want to walk to school?" He then says, "Yeah, do you want me to come over there, or you come over here, or where do you want to meet up?" I say, "How about we meet up at Insert Park that's near the school, because, yeah, convenience and plot. It's pretty close to the school." He agrees, and I hang up. I get ready and walk out the door. I get to the park to see Shinso sitting on a bench waiting for me. I wave, and he notices and says, "Hey, Midoriya." I then ran up and hugged him and say, "Hey, well, let's go." He stood for a second before coming with me. I got to my class, and Shinso was in, so that was nice. I then hear a girl say something, and piqued my interest. "Hey, did you hear?" The other one said. "No, what?" The girl then says, "Apparently Shiori was caught dealing drugs in the back of the school." I thought, wow, that sucks. I then look on my phone and search up the school site and try to find her name there. It took a while, but I found her. The first thought I had was, wow, she looks high on crack. Or maybe other things. I then put my phone away, and then Shinso says, "What were you looking at?" I take my phone and show him the girl and say, "Apparently this girl was caught with drugs. I think she's high." Shinso this stares at me like, what the fuck? And I just laugh. The class starts and it's normal, but I was just really disconnected. I was bored. I want to do something that will give me something like adrenaline or something that isn't here. Shinso notices this and whispers to me, "Why do you look so dead?" I then look at him and say, "Well, I'm just really bored." Shinso hums in response, "Hey, Shinso, do you know what do you want to do with your life?" He then says, "I want to be a hero, so I'm just going there when I graduate." I say, "I don't really know what to do with myself." He then says, "You could be a hero, or maybe at this support course." I say, "I could, but he then cuts me off and says, "We could fight villains and be heroes together. Come on, it would be fun. We could stick together." I smile and say, "Yeah, that would be fun." Shinjo then smiles with me and class continues. I wonder if Mom would be proud of me if I did go down that road. Would she? That's a stupid question. Of course she would. She always was there for me. The class ended, and I and Shinso were walking to our next classes like every other day, and finally the last class ended, and we're walking out of school, and I say, "Want to grab some coffee?" Shinso then says, "Yeah, I could go for some coffee." He then yawns, and I yawned. We walked to a coffee place, but before we got there, we saw police cars and heroes on standby. What's going on? Shinjo then says, "I wonder what's going on." I say, "Well, let's find out. Let's hope it's nothing too gross." We then go past the yellow tape and look around, and someone spots us and says, "Hey, you two, get out. This is a police investigation." I then take Shinso's hand and start running into a alleyway and cover his mouth as the policeman walks by. Shinso then says, "Wait, what?" I then cut him off and say, "We're invisible right now, but our voices aren't muffled, so keep it down. If you're wondering, it's one of my abilities of my quirk, so yeah, now let's go." I keep holding his hand, and we look around. Before long, he asks, "Midoriya, could I let go?" I say, I need to be physically touching the person for the invisibility to be with you too, so no." I didn't look back, but I didn't think he disliked me holding his hand, but I think he's embarrassed, even though we're both invisible, but I digress. We walk around and see 3 body bags and a few weapons with blood on them. I didn't really hesitate, but just looked at them as if they were ordinary items, but Shinso looked unnerved and uncomfortable. He squeezed my hand, but I ignored it and continued to look around. As I hear someone talking, and I guess it was about what happened, and it's an officer, so it should be a report of some kind. So I dragged Shinso with me, and we looked inside of a building, which had 2 people talking. "Officer, report," the woman says. "Yes, ma'am. The attack was about 8 hours ago, and was reported by a passerby when the homicide happened. The suspect tried to kill victim 1 and 2, but was caught by victim 3, and the suspect and victim 3 fought, but suspect got a killing blow, and victim 3 was dead on the ground, a bit away from victim 1 and victim 2. We also have a DNA of a high school girl from Aldera, but has been missing since 13 for half of her school day, and has been missing. End of report, sir. End of report, ma'am." She hums and responds, and leaves the room. I then look closer at the documents as we step more inside. Documents about 5 incidents that was similar to this one. I wonder if it's connected to a villain group or something. And what does it have to do with a schoolgirl? And why our school? I look closer and see it was the picture of the Shiori girl that looked high. I then whispered to Shinso, "Okay, let's go before we get caught." He nods, and we sneak away. And that is the end. Sorry if it's a bit short. It's kind of late, and I kind of want to get to bed. And I really wanted to give this to you, so, yeah. Also, if you have any other ideas, put them in the comments below. If it's late over there, sorry. And have a good day, night, wherever. Have a good time zone. And this is London Silver, and bye.